me say it.
It was just bad communication.
Bad communication. Well, just a bit of breaking news which is reaching us as we speak right now. And Sky sources are indicating that Lee Clark has been sacked by Huddersfield Town. They're fourth in the N-Power League One. I'm shocked. I can't believe. I honestly can't believe that this has happened. Is Lee Clark and I don't know why you're laughing. Anyway, come on, why are you laughing? Tell me.
No, it's just I'm laughing in shock of the Lee Clark dismissal. Oh no, but I thought he wasn't that massive unbeaten run.
Yeah, it's 40. They'd beaten not Brian Clough's, massive run, didn't they? In the undefeated.
I think we're having some technical difficulties.
Well, I think we are.
Microphone.
I think we are as well. So let's just say though that we had last week our tip of the week was that Fabio Capello would stay as England boss. That didn't go down very well. There were no chance in hell that were going to happen. We fooled you. This week's prediction for me, my tip of the week, is that Lee Clark will be the Leeds United manager by this time next week. Guys, do you agree?
No.
Well, my tip of the week is football related.
Surely we'll get one right this week.
Well, yeah, if we do one each, we should get one right. My tip of the week is Redknapp to be named manager for the end of the season with Scott Parker as the new captain.
My tip of the week is Mick McCarthy to be next Leeds manager.
Watch them all be wrong. Right, let's get off football for a second. We want people to know it's not just a football podcast, it's a general news podcast.
Well, it is a general news podcast. And I think the question, we do some entertainment stuff and we do some politics. And, I think one subject which we are going to have to talk about is my big fat gypsy wedding.
Oh, no.
Well, that's your reaction. And can I just say that I watch it avidly. I've watched every episode a few times. And, I've got to say that I feel that this is a great show. It highlights the culture that gypsy people live. And, things like, they visit the graves of relatives on their wedding day. I think that's a great touch. And, you learn things. Have you two guys ever watched it?
No. The only thing I've seen of it is on the front of a magazine cover, and it said exposed. No, on the paper as well, it said exposed. Big Fat Gypsy Wedding. The people in it are actually actors.
Did you actually read that?
Yeah.
Right. Well, if you can talk for a minute, Jack, I will see if that's right.
I've never watched My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding.
But have you ever thought you would?
No.
Yes.
He's got a life, so.
Yeah, I considered watching it.
Well, he just said he had, so.
And then I think I went and stared at my bedroom wall instead. But I don't know, just from what I'd heard about it, from what I'd heard about it, I'd thought it was very kind of supposed to be and quite negative towards the travellers community. So
Well, I think it was at times, but I also think at times it helped highlight, the community as being one of real togetherness. And again, Dale is laughing, and again, I don't know why. I really don't know why. So, we're now going to talk about politics. And Jack Elliott, our man on the ground,
Our main man
on the ground. This is a question that, do you feel that David Cameron is cutting too fast, too hard?
Yes. I think
a bit more would be helpful.
He seems to be completely ignorant of the current economic climate. He doesn't seem to be, if he is aware of, he must be aware of what he's doing to the country at the moment, but I think he needs to rein in the austerity programme and inject some stimulus into the economy just to create jobs.
Well, they're making all these cuts, but we don't seem to be going anywhere in
No.
terms of
Well, I think their point is that here's the debt level. We're cutting the debt level down, so you're not going to see the impact for the next. I think it's the next 3 years. So it would be if the positives did happen, it would be in time for the next election, which is 2015 in May. So, do you feel that the Conservative Party will be in power next time? Solely because
I'm not sure, because as I have to use my view I voted in the last election. I voted for Lib Dems, which I wouldn't do again.
and you say a lot wouldn't.
And my personal view, I wouldn't vote Conservatives. And I'm unsure on Labour as well, because they did such a bad job last time. So I think people when you look at the each voting results, they're not quite sure who to vote for.
Well, according to the latest the YouGov poll,
Labour are ahead of the government on health, the economy, and education and crime, I believe.
I think they are. Yeah, I think they just are though. It's not.
But then again, I'd say that's to be expected, of an opposition party, especially when the current government is pushing through as many measures as this current government are.
But I'm surprised that the coalition have stayed together so long, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I thought they'd just split up immediately especially when the AV, reform voting took place, and it certainly became a case of the Liberals against the Conservatives, uniting in, almost like a Royal Rumble, something that, I didn't think it'd happen as early as it did, but, I think guys like Chris Hume and Dr. Fox leaving has maybe helped stabilise the party, because, Vince Cable is apparently, this is, a bit of a rumour going around, that Vince Cable is the only Liberal now that isn't liked by the Conservative Party, main, Conservative Party backbenchers in the 1922 committee, and so maybe there will be a time for him to go as well to try and keep the votes going. So when Nick Clegg was there parading the signed letter that he wanted all these student fees to go, and we're students, we're free students from Leeds Trinity University. And he paraded with that letter, and then a few months later he gets into power and he says, look, it's not nothing now, it's going to be £9,000. He's a hypocrite, is he? Yes or no?
Right, run through that again.
Do you think that Nick Clegg, for God's sake, I've just said
I
it.
want to make sure I got all the facts.
Do you think Nick Clegg's a hypocrite for saying that all student fees he wanted all student fees to disappear, and then all of a sudden he gets into power and then he's saying, look, let them go up. They have to go up. If we were in power, they'd go down, but I'm not in power. I'm in a coalition. Do you think he's a hypocrite, yes or no?
Yeah, I think he shouldn't never make promises what you can't keep. And I think, let's face it...
That was love advice, sir?
Well, if you want to, that's coming up later. But, yeah, I don't think Lib Dems ever thought they'd get into power, did they, really?
No.
So when they did, it was like, oh, God, they made all these promises. They could have promised before. They could have promised that they would do abseiling from the moon. No one would have cared, because we weren't going to get into power. That's my opinion. Jack?
I think he is a hypocrite, and if I was Nick Clegg, I wouldn't have said to David Cameron that I would have a referendum over AV. My condition on joining the coalition with Conservatives would have been if we have a referendum on tuition fees, not AV. And I'm surprised he didn't do that.
I don't think they'd have been in a position to say that. Personally, I think the cards were very close to David Cameron's chest, and for Nick Clegg, he was in a position where he didn't really have that much to play with. I think that Nick Clegg could look at the fact that the Labour Party wanted to join, but Nick Clegg had already said he wouldn't join, with Labour.
It would also have been a minority coalition if he'd have joined with Labour as well.
Yeah, so by joining with the Conservatives, it meant that Nick Clegg got, in my opinion, quite a bit more power. Of course, he's deputy now. You know, as deputy, I don't think he would have been under Labour. I think that job would have remained with Harriet Harman. Right, well, the first podcast of the week is done. It's time to say goodbye, but not good night, because our next podcast is about a day which happened yesterday, the 14th of February. Yes, folks, we are talking about Valentine's Day.
Hold on to your hat.
Because as 3 eligible bachelors, and I will make that very clear.
You're not going to believe it, though. I know it's hard to believe that we'll give you time from each podcast to try and take in that information. That the 3 of us are single.
We're single, but we're on the lookout, ladies. So don't worry. We might be going to a club near you in the near future, though. Dale will probably be doing. Right, I'll just say this, and I'll just say the words Mick Jagger. That's all I'll say for now. That is to tempt you for the next podcast. And the next podcast will be about Valentine's Day. And the question is it a big sham? Because you've got people who are buying all these presents overpriced for people they already know they love.
Well,
do you need to? Well, no.
Let's discuss it.
Let's discuss it after this. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Blah.
Blah.
Blahdblah. Thank you and goodbye. Remember to listen to blahdblah every Wednesday. We are live and we are exclusive. We go onto YouTube on the Thursday morning. Also, follow blahdblah on Twitter at the blahdblah. And follow at Thomas Sadie. He knows his stuff. Also, you can follow
at Dale Harris 1991.
At Jack Elliott 1993.
And remember to check out our sponsor, www.sportingviewpoint.co.uk. Thank you. Hope you listen to the next one.